What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. We're talking about my 5 personal favorites from Ralph Lauren fragrances. This encompasses a few different lines: the Ralph's Club line, the Polo Blue line, the Polo Green line, the Polo Red line. All great lines. I recently talked about a story about did a live stream with the owner and perfumer of Day 3 Fragrances. He's got a 90s shopping mall inspired fragrance. And I talked about how I've always related Ralph Lauren to designer fragrance because the Dillards in my hometown, the fragrance area is directly walking path across from the Ralph Lauren Polo section. So my whole life growing up, I've associated Ralph Lauren and Ralph Lauren Polo with designer fragrances. So when it comes to Ralph Lauren's fragrances, it's just a nostalgia tie for me. I enjoy the house. So we're going to break it down with my 5 personal favorites. Stay tuned. Now, picking a favorite out of a line of 3, where all 3 have something to offer and all 3 are really good, is difficult. But with Ralph's Club Parfum, it's a slightly easier choice than you may think due to 2 outlying factors here. It maintains, I think, a similar level of versatility to the original Eau de Parfum. It's just a generic woody aromatic blue. It really is. It smells good, but let's call it what it is. It's on the generic side. It just smells really good. Then you have the Elixir, which is a more refined, dressier fragrance, more elegant. That one has an earthy iris, but the smoky, woodsy nuances of that are found here in the Parfum with that beautiful, mass-appealing, crowd-pleasing, woody aromatic tone of the EDP. Even though they call it a Parfum, this is still an Eau de Parfum, but I think this is the happy medium. Performance is really good. It's very loud in the first hour, then calms down quite a bit. It's smooth, it's rich, it's a little resinous and smoky, woodsy, aromatic, has a little touch of that bubblegummy type of smell, a hint of sweetness here. There's a lot to like, and I think you can wear this one year-round. Even though I mentioned the darker nuances, I've worn this one in the dead of summer. It totally works fine. It's a beautiful fragrance. I think this is some of Ralph Lauren's best work. As far as the brand, this is some of their best work for recent releases in the last, let's say, handful of years in the men's fragrance segment. They did really good here. This is one of those signature scent worthy fragrances that it doesn't smell like everything else. It doesn't completely smell like just another trend fragrance, but it is of the mass appealing, crowd pleasing side of just, smell good, work with everything, get compliments from people. That kind of stuff matters. And here you go. One that does it really well is Ralph's Club Parfum. Now, there was no way, no how I could only have one Polo Blue fragrance. So there's 2 Polo Blue fragrances here. And the reason this one made the cut over so many other great, because I love every version of Polo Blue. I do. I don't care what, oh, bro, weak. I don't care. It's all about the scent and the wearing experience for me. This one smells so good. I sprayed it on my hand the other night, and it reminded me how much Polo Blue Eau de Parfum is fantastic to me. So you get that melon, watery, cucumber smell of the original, but it's got more green elements to it. It's a greener fragrance overall, a little powdery. There's even a hit of spice. Maintains that aquatic tone. It's hard to not say this is the best smelling one. It's difficult to not throw that moniker on it, because it smells so much like the original Evolved. The original Evolved. That's true flankering to me, especially if you're going to do a concentration flanker like this and just call it Polo Blue Eau de Parfum. There needs to be some elevation and refined elements added to it. That's how I feel. And they did that here. It is a richer fragrance. It does last a little bit longer. It's not as loud as the Eau de Toilette because it's a heavier fragrance from higher oil concentration. So they did it right. Now, still not a great performer. It's like a 5 or 6 hour fragrance and longevity on my skin. Some people get less, some people get more, some people get the same. But I love the way this one smells. And it's hard to not put fragrances like Gold Blend, for example, which is phenomenal. It really is. And some are going to look at it as blasphemy that if I'm going to have 2 Polo Blues, how is Gold Blend not one of them? To each their own. That's just, I love the way this one smells. It's so true to the original just a little bit richer, that I couldn't help it. I had to put it in here. It is one of my faves, truly, is Polo Blue Eau de Parfum. Now, it's only right, we just as soon go ahead and talk about the other Polo Blue. Polo Blue Parfum, which to me is the best of the bunch. And it goes right back to what I was saying about the Eau de Parfum. Concentration flanker, raise the oil concentration, add refinement. Man, did they do that, because it smells like elements of the Eau de Parfum are still here. Elements of the Eau de Toilette are still here. It's a bit more resinous. It's got this smokier tone to it. It's woodsy. It's very smooth. This is a polished take on Polo Blue. This will work well with a suit and tie. One of the few blue fragrances I've ever really said that about. Most notably, Bleu de Chanel Parfum, I believe, is another phenomenal blue fragrance for a suit and tie. This has that level of refinement and polish to it. It's so smooth and smells so good. Again, that cucumber, watery aquatic, melon smell with more of an oriental and woodsy feel to it, richer overall. Lasts a long time, not a loud fragrance. It has that kind of personality. It's a more refined fragrance, so it's not going to be in your face. I love it. I love it. I think it's the best Polo Blue. I really do. Best meaning my favorite. Hence why it's on here. Because I couldn't just have one Polo Blue. It's hard not to, because Polo Blue, in general, that scent profile is one of the greatest men's fragrance creations ever to me. It defines an era. It defines a style. And to me, this is the best of the bunch. Had to be on here because it is truly one of my favorites. One of my favorite blues, one of my favorite Ralph Lauren's. Polo Blue Parfum. Now, everybody's going to have a different answer with this one. Polo Red line. Okay, some people are going to go straight to the extreme. Others may go right to the intense. Some may really love the new Parfum. Red Remix, Red Rush, Red EDT, just, it goes on and on. They got a lot. The one I didn't mention is also my favorite. The Eau de Parfum. So this truly does smell like Polo Red. You get that cranberry meets citrus kind of smell. It doesn't have the coffee. Ginger, if I remember correctly, gives that nice spicy tone, but it's not too spicy. But you get all that beautiful mass appealing sweetness. It's a great performer. This one's 8+ hours on skin easily. Very loud for about 2 hours on skin. Pulls the compliments. Wife's a big fan of this one. It's superior to me. Very citric. I want to say like grapefruit and maybe orange, if I remember correctly, are the citruses. It's not like apple or cranberry, if I remember. I don't recall cranberry being in there. Might be. It might be. I smell a little bit of it. But it's not the typical like Polo Red Intense, because had this not come along, I would have picked Polo Red Intense. That cranberry coffee smell is magnificence in a bottle. Long discontinued, I believe. But if you've never given this one an opportunity and tried it out, you might be missing out, because with all of the versions of Polo Red out there, and no, I don't have Extreme. I get it. And a lot of people say, well, you would pick Extreme if you have Extreme. I've heard that before. I get it. Rich coffee fragrance, but this one is a higher level of versatility. I like them because I'm very situational and seasonal with my fragrances, so give me more opportunity to where I feel it's more appropriate and works better in more situations. And I'm going to be more on board with that kind of fragrance, and that's the case here. Now, I wouldn't recommend this one in the summer, but the other 3 seasons, day or night, dressed up, dressed down, not maybe the most dressy fragrance, but casual, semi-casual, rock this stuff. Smells really good, has a playful lean to it, nothing serious, but they pull a compliment. And like I said, my wife's a big fan of this one. I still deem it to be the best of the red bunch. It's Polo Red EDP. And my favorite Polo fragrance, because I did rank these. I saved the best for last for each of these, for this and the Azzaro top 5 that I did prior to this video. It's too good, and some people give it the old man tag, and it hurts my heart for Polo. It's called Polo Green these days, but it's just Ralph Lauren Polo, and it's a modern formula. It's got the click-on cap and everything, and it's still a great performer for me. This is still a 9 or 10 hour fragrance that's loud. Piney green, dry tobacco, leafy and aromatic. Oh, smoky, spiced. Smells like the woods. Smells like money. Green and gold. My entire life I've associated this fragrance with success and money. Green and gold. Dollar bills and gold bricks and gold jewelry, guys. Dollar bill, y'all, right here. This was my go-to. I had a small bottle when I was early teen. I used to wear this to school dances in junior high. This was my go-to. So that's what upsets me about getting the old man tag. Like, I was a kid when I was rocking this originally. I love it. I love it. It's not for everybody. I think it's timeless, even though most people will say it's dated. Maybe it's just the nostalgia in me. It'll never get old to me. And I don't wear it often. I don't wear it often. I have it because I love it. It's a moment in time fragrance for me, I guess, which technically would date the fragrance, obviously. But it's just floating in the air. It's so strong still. And this batch is like 3 years old. It's not like some super old bottle. It's a relatively new fragrance. It's, like I said, about 3 years old, this bottle. And Polo Oud in the green line, it smells great. Doesn't do this justice. Polo Cologne Intense in the green line, smells good. Doesn't do this justice. And if they continue to flanker in this line, I'm sure they'll smell great. And I'm sure they still won't do this justice, because this is, when it comes to masculine profiles, to me, Mount Rushmore. This is a Mount Rushmore men's masculine designer fragrance. This comes from a time when there was no niche in designer categories. It was just fragrance. There was cologne. It's what it is. And any of you that have never given this a shot, give it a shot. You never know. You never know. If you're used to the modern synthetics, you might not like this one. This is, like I said, it's a moment in time. It is a dated fragrance. I understand. I'm not naive to it. But it just garners a ton of respect from me personally, because this was a fragrance that, you know, I remember always looking at as one that I wanted to strive to get my hands on. I had tested it so many times at Dillard's over the years. This is another one that makes me think of Dillard's at Southland Mall in Houma, Louisiana, back in its heyday when the mall was a spot to go, not a ghost town like malls are today. One of the greatest fragrances of all time, in my opinion, is Ralph Lauren Polo, or as kids like to call it today, Polo Green. Well, that's my 5. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. What's your favorite Ralph Lauren fragrance? Are we going to see some Safari comments? I don't have Safari. I've smelled it. It is good. I've put off getting it forever. Purple Label, Romance. Like, there's going to be so many that are going to come up. I debated on throwing Polo Double Black in here because I do love it, but I don't love it more than these 5. Had to be honest with myself. What's the 5? If I'm only keeping 5 Ralph Lauren fragrances, what 5 would it be? It would be these 5. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 5 that I love from Ralph Lauren and give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.